Alright, morning guys. So on this particular episode we are joined by Mr. Ferdi Verryn from Verryn Attorneys. They are based here in Brooklyn. Ferdi, give us a bit of info about you and where you've come from, and yeah.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you everybody. My name is Ferdi Verryn. I'm from Verryn Attorneys. We're a firm of attorneys, conveyancers and notaries. We specialise in property transactions. Well, I've been practicing since 1995, it's been 25 years now, and I solely specialise in property transactions and conveyancing.
Awesome. And just to give you guys a bit of extra info about Ferdi, he actually writes for the Beeld on a weekly basis. So if you need any information on property transactions or property related information, check out his articles in the Beeld, and I'm sure you'll find it very informative. So today, Ferdi, we're going to cover the registration process. Obviously, for a lot of buyers, it's their first time. You know, it's not something that happens every sort of month or every year for them. They maybe buy 1 or 2 properties a year. So I think this is going to be very informative for the guys.
Thank you, Sean. Yes, it can be a tedious process, but it's not that difficult. It usually starts with appointing an estate agent to sell your property. And then it is the offer to purchase that is signed by the buyer and the seller. The offer to purchase is a contract. It's also called a deed of sale or a sale agreement or whatever. The contract is an important document. It is advisable to get advice from either your estate agent that assists you or your attorney before you sign the agreement. It's a legal document. The Alienation of Land Act actually states that you have to sign a written agreement for the sale of land to be legal and binding.
Yes.
So it's very important that the deed of sale is signed correctly and completed correctly. After the offer to purchase has been signed by both the buyer and the seller, a conveyancer is appointed by the seller.
Yes.
It is very important that a conveyancer is appointed because conveyancers are attorneys, but they also have an extra qualification and they passed in a conveyancing exam. And they understand property transactions. So it's very, very important that you do appoint a conveyancer. After the transferring attorney or conveyancer has been appointed by the seller, usually the buyer will need a loan to purchase the property.
Correct.
They will apply at their bank or through a bond originator for a loan at the bank. The bond originator is usually companies that have contracts with the different banks, and they apply on behalf of buyers at the different banks for a home loan. It is a very convenient way to apply because they simultaneously will apply at 4 or 5 banks at one time, and you can see what the banks
negotiate.
offer. You can negotiate. That's it.
They'll negotiate the best rate for you.
Yes. Then the purchaser is busy applying for his bond. The attorney is appointed by the seller to do the transfer. You usually have 3 attorneys involved in a transaction, the normal transaction. You have the transferring attorney that attends to the transfer of ownership from the seller to the buyer. You have the bond registration attorney that is appointed by the buyer's bank to register their bond as security over the loan for the purchase of the property. And then if the seller has a bond on the property, or he had to register a bond when he purchased the property, his bank will appoint a cancellation attorney. So you will have 3 attorneys: bond cancellation, bond attorney, and the transferring attorney involved.
Right.
The transferring attorney he can be called, or she can be called, the project manager on the whole process. The process takes anything from 2 to 3 months. That was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, the government offices aren't all operational yet, so that still has to be seen.
Yeah, so we're not quite sure how long they will take. So just bear with your agents
and your attorneys.
And tell us more about the clearances and that side of the...
Now, these attorneys will all work together. And one of the important things for the transferring attorney is to obtain a clearance certificate from the local council or the municipality. The clearance certificate just confirms that all the outstanding rates have been paid and that all the rates has been paid up to date of registration. Reasoning behind this is that the buyer is not liable to pay any rates that are for
historical
the seller, historical debt, and rates that were for the account of the seller. Then you have the deeds office. The deeds office is a government office that attends to the registration of the transfer. And then you have the Surveyor General's office that's also involved in the process, and then you have managing agents, or let's say in sectional title schemes and homeowners associations. You have managing agents that will issue clearance certificates on the rate or the levies, on the levies, different levies. That has to be obtained as well by a transferring attorney. All the attorneys will do their work. They will draft documents, have clients sign documents, and then they will liaise with each other and they will lodge in the deeds office together. And it takes about 7 to 10 working days pre-COVID for registration, and then on date of registration the buyer becomes the owner and the seller gets his money. And that in short is the process.
There we go. Alright guys, so there you have it. If there's any other questions, pop a comment on the video, email me, you can SMS me, and yeah, we look forward to the next one.
Thank you,
Thank
Sean.
you very much.
Thank you.
I hope that was informative, guys. If you've got any other ideas or things that you think we should chat about, get in touch with me and we'll cover that for you. Chat
Thanks.
soon. Bye.